All right, this is Prep Sports Now, a Las Vegas Sun sports podcast brought to you by the A's and Las Vegas Aviators. We'd like to thank them for their support. Folks, it's Ray Brewer, and I've been saying I need a guest. Well, today, not only do I have a guest, I have the guest of all guests, Coach Brad Talich. Coach, I appreciate you joining me.
I wouldn't say that. I can't replace Case. He's done such a good job. But I'm going to try to kind of help see what we can get done today, Ray, and I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah. What perfect timing that we planned it out for this week. We were thinking, let's talk Gorman Liberty, which is the matchup on Friday night. Always the matchup of the year.
Always.
Two premier programs.
Absolutely.
But we had a little news Friday night. Coronado, for the first time in 17 years, beat Liberty, and not only beat them, they running clocked them.
Yes.
Now, just so everybody knows, you work at Liberty.
Absolutely.
You're a school teacher.
And I support Liberty.
And you were on their staff when they won state.
When we state in 2019.
And you were formerly on the head coach of Coronado.
Yeah.
So nobody knows more about this game than you do.
Yeah. First of all, I think you got to hand it Sean Dupree and the kids at Coronado. I mean, it shocked, I would say, everybody, in the high school football community. But, that kind of shows, anybody can beat anybody on any given night in high school football. And, the thing that's good about Liberty that I know, those kids are going to bounce back from it. They're going to learn from it. And it's going to be kind of neat seeing as the season goes on and as teams play each other because Liberty still has to play Arborview yet. So that's going to be a matchup. Arborview is going to play Coronado, and that's going to be
Friday night. That's coming Friday night.
Then Liberty goes against Gorman, and I'm sure they're going to learn some things, how they can get better. And we'll see. It's going to be fun seeing what happens down the end of the stretch here.
So you're a longtime listener.
Yes.
And I got a lot of theories. Okay.
Yes, you do.
One of my theories is best player on the field.
Yeah.
Friday night. J.J. Buchanan said, Ray Brewer, you're the man.
Yep.
He's really good.
Yeah, he's very good. And Aiden was a stud as well that night, Buchanan, I think he's in a Utah commit,
correct.
If I'm correct in saying that. But he was the best player that night in that ball game. He proved that he deserves a Utah commit. And an offer, you bet.
Yeah. He's even better at basketball.
Yeah, I know.
I love
hoops too.
Golly,
he's a great athlete.
He's so athletic. First play of the game, I think it was AK to JJ, 70 yards to the house.
Yeah.
And that was kind of a little preview of things to come.
Yeah.
We kind of talked before we started. I don't know if it's what's wrong with Liberty, but it's not coming together as fast as usual this year. Yeah. And you make a good point. Their line is still really good. Yes. And Rich loves to run the rock, baby.
Absolutely.
They got to get back to running the rock.
They're going to figure it out. Yeah. What's nice for Rich and the kids is they got time yet. The playoffs, we'll have to see kind of what kind of pans out here because I said Liberty still got to play Arborview. Things might not go together as fast as what we had hoped there at Liberty, but I really have faith in the staff there and the kids there that they're going to figure things out and find out what they do well, and they're going to focus on those things, and they're going to be tough when it comes down to the stretch of things.
Yeah, and it's obviously a humbling defeat.
Yes,
and
absolutely,
it's probably going to have the same impact that Liberty had in 19 when they beat Bishop Gorman. Right? Gorman was maybe overlooking Liberty in that game because they'd beaten them so many times in a row, and it was just a historic, epic type of thing.
It was an epic win for Coronado, and it's one of the greatest wins I think probably Coronado's had. And the reason being is because Rich and Liberty has been so good for so long, and they will continue to be one of the top programs in the city. But when you're so good for so long, That says, tremendous amounts of what Rich has done at Liberty. But what a great win. I'm not going to take it away from Sean or the Coronado kids in that win, because it was a devastating win. It was a running clock win, right?
Correct.
It was devastating, for Liberty. But at the same time, it was, massive for Coronado.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens with Coronado going forward.
Okay, so big game Friday night, Gorman
Liberty.
You're one of these guys who you've seen Gorman play because we watched them together.
Yes, I go
and
see Gorman.
Over the years, you have had a great deal of admiration for what Gorman's built.
Yeah.
Why are they so tough to beat?
Yeah, you know what? I think it starts with Brent and the expectations that he has for the program, and then you go down their coaching staff with Coach Canfield. I mean, he's top in the nation, Ray. You watch what he does, on offense, and he really diagnoses things, on the opposing team's defenses. So you start there, but it's the expectation that Gorman has. It's the discipline. It's the wearing the G. There's a sense of pride to that. And, even if they're on a bye week, like they were this week, when you step on that practice field, there's a sense in let's get better. Mm-hmm. Even from where we were the week before. So I think the expectations, the demand of excellence that Brent has put forward, in the Gorman program, they deserve to be top in the nation. I think they're ranked 5th right now.
Yeah.
Really, they're top 3 in my opinion.
Yeah. And the cool thing for me is this is a big game for both teams, especially
it's a bounce back game for Rich.
And the one thing I've always loved about Liberty is a lot of teams when they line up to play Gorman, it's let's go through the motion. Maybe we could play there so we could get a picture afterwards. Yeah. And they're intimidated. Yeah. And Rich is not intimidated.
No, absolutely not. No. You know what a lot of people think going into Gorman? They want to slow the game down. They want to kind of keep the ball in offense and keep the ball away from Gorman.
Like Travis Foster did last year at Shadow.
Absolutely, Travis did.
Yeah,
different kind of offense that Travis runs than anybody else. But exactly like Travis did. But you look for that back umpire when he starts his count, 5-second count. That's when teams are going to snap the ball just to wear out clock. Rich doesn't have that. Rich is going to go in and do what Rich does. And you know what? When you play Gorman, you have to have that. You got to do what you do best. And you shouldn't be someone you're not just because you're playing Gorman. Mm-hmm. You better do what you do. And that's what I've learned from Rich. When he plays these top teams across the country, Ray, Rich is going to do what Rich does. And they've been successful doing that. And I think that's why they believe in who they are, and they're not going to be someone they're not going to try to be someone they're not.
Yeah.
They're going to be Liberty. And that's what I love about it. And going in even with the devastating loss, Liberty is going to be Liberty. They're going to go in with confidence. They're going to exude confidence going into Gorman, and they're going to see what can we get better at, win little battles.
Yeah.
Whether it be 3 yards.
And the schedule is great for them
because they still have Arborview.
Yeah, they still have Arborview, and everything in front of them. Let's get better against Gorman. It's another out-of-state team to get ready for Arbor and everybody else.
And I think they're going to win. Going against Gorman, you got to go in with the mindset, be who you are, and win the little battles.
Correct.
Get second down and 6, and try to run the ball where you're 3rd and 1.
Yeah.
Try those things, against Gorman. Now, it's going to be tough because Gorman's elite on defense.
Correct.
They're very good. But what I appreciate and what I think a lot of coaches need to know, don't be someone you're not. Like Travis, if you're going to run the option, don't change what you do just because it's Gorman. Run the option.
Yeah.
Do what you do.
Yeah.
And Richard, they're going to come out with a good offensive plan. Gorman's going to come out with a good defensive plan. And, it's going to be a battle between 2 good teams.
Yeah.
Even though what happened last week, Liberty is still a very good football team.
So the question of the day is, of the many questions of the day, is, so now all of a sudden, all our eyes were focused on Gorman Liberty. And now it's like, the undercard
might be the game of the week.
Arborview, Coronado might be the game of the week. Yeah. And we don't know how good this Arborview team is, right? They got a great quarterback in Thaddeus Thatcher, a good defense. They got some kids that could run on the outside, and now you're coming into a buzzsaw with Coronado. So I think this is a show-me game on both sides.
Yeah, and it could kind of be a trap game for Coronado. And I know Sean's not going to let the win against Liberty kind of enforce what happens against Arborview. You've got to let the game go. And get your focus on next week. And for Coronado, it's the focus on Arborview. It's you, and I know it's going to be tough for those kids. So it's such a massive win versus Liberty, but they've got to forget about it and now focus on Arborview. And you know what? It should be the game of the week because with the upset of Liberty, now I think Coronado realistically is sitting in the number 2 spot. So you got 2 playing 3, kind of.
Yeah, so it's kind of weird to look at the evolution of Arborview, right? You had Dan's misdirection, and then Matty Gerber came, and he kind of spread it out spread over that. Yep. Now Coach Barnett is go. Here we go, and the way they use the tight end, the Zach Farkas kid.
Oh, he's good. Yeah,
he's good, and they get the ball to the tight end, so they got speed on the sides to burn, and then they got this kid at tight end,
right?
And if they could. I haven't seen them play.
I have. I went and watched them play Legacy, and I'll tell you about that game here in a second.
Okay, but they love the slinging around. Yeah. Do they need to run the ball more?
You know what? What I was impressed against Legacy, as the game went on, first quarter, second quarter, and so on, the Thatcher kid was able to maintain drives. Mm-hmm. Okay, whether he used it with his legs, whether he used it through the air, or whether they used it in the running game. What you need is you got to sustain drives, and that's what they did again. It was tough in the first quarter. It was a tight game with Legacy in the first quarter. But eventually, Arborview had the ball. They were driving the field. They drove off clock. And, Arborview did what Arborview does. But what I was impressed with the Thatcher kid, he can extend possessions by using his legs. And if you're on defense, that's another thing you have to defend. And that's what Coronado's going to have to look at because Thatcher will pull the ball down. If he doesn't see anything, that's open. Even the tight end, if that's covered, you better account for Thatcher with his legs as well. So that's just another added thing to the arsenal that Arborview's got.
Okay, so Friday night I was at the Slam Nevada Moapa Valley game.
Great game to go to.
Great high school football game. So here's what I can't understand. If you line those kids up, Team A against Team B, you're calling Child Protective Services. We've got a severe mismatch because you can't tell who's on the line for Moapa. They all look the same, except they wear jersey 63. And how do they control the line of scrimmage being that smaller than Slam? They do. Brent does such a good job running their stuff.
They run the wing tee. Okay, they run the wing tee, and when you run the wing tee, it's all about the buck sweep. It's about trap, and it's about counter. Okay, and those kids know it so well. I mean, they can drive the field. What you hope, when you're defending the wing tee is that number one, they make a mistake and turn the ball over. And Slam, I think, with Coach Kofer over there and the staff he's gotten and the belief because they've started to accumulate some wins now. And that's a big game for them because it's in the past couple years, Slam has been in the state championship game. And who did they have to beat to overcome that?
Moapa. And everybody's kind of
always is Moapa. Yeah. I mean, that says a lot for what Brent has done over there. But the kids know it inside and out, and they know exactly what Brent might call when it's second down and 6.
Yeah. And so Mike was telling me after the game he compared the 3A to the SEC, and
that's quite a stretch.
Yeah, a little bit of exaggeration.
A little bit.
But I get what he means in that.
It's a tough league.
It's not just Moapa and Slam.
No, you got to battle every week.
Correct.
In the 3A.
Especially you go
You're
to
going
Pahrump.
You got Valley now.
Yeah. Virgin, Pahrump, Boulder, even at home
Boulder
is tough.
City. Yeah.
And it's
a tough division.
It's a fun little and so
anybody can beat anybody now.
Correct. And Slam's kind of in the driver's seat. They've got the win. Now, nobody wants
They still have to play
Virgin. Yeah.
That's going to be a highlight game.
Yeah, and Maddie does a great job over there, and they're same thing.
I can't wait to see that game.
It's going to be a great game. So just generally, not talking 3A.
Okay.
Have you noticed that the points are down a little bit this year? If you look at like Canyon won 19-14 over El Dorado. Centennial was in a close game.
Right.
And I'm used to just seeing, like, when you got to town, give the ball to Steven Jackson, let him go for something, and it's 30 whatever, like that. Yeah. And now I just,
I got an answer for that, Ray. I do. I think points are down because now you see a little bit of parity in the divisions. Before it was, El Dorado was playing Green Valley, and they had no business doing that. The amount of kids that were coming out for El Dorado and the amount of mass that Green Valley had. They could play 11 kids on offense and a different 11. They could. A different 11 on defense, and then poor El Dorado, they're trying to play all their kids both ways, and eventually you wear out.
Correct.
So what you're seeing now, I think, with the change in the divisions is parity. Now teams are kind of equalizing a little bit with talent level.
So realignment's worked.
Realignment, I think. Now, there's pros and cons, but I think as far as looking at the competitiveness of games, I think there is a little bit of saying, realignment's kind of worked a little bit just because games are closer.
Sure.
Now, there's work to be done. Still.
But it's also given teams like Silverado a chance to win state. And if you look at that second league right now, Green Valley,
doing well. Love the guy. I can't wait to go over there.
Real deal. Yeah. Faith might not lose.
Lutheran is a very good football team. Remember, they went up to Shadow Ridge, and upset Shadow Ridge.
Correct.
Rogers wasn't an upset.
The Rogers kid, I picked Faith that day. Yeah.
Okay.
The Rogers kid at quarterback has been very good for them.
Yeah.
So if you look at that league, you got GV, Faith, Shadow, Legacy. Legacy, best player on the field.
Don't forget about Legacy.
Okay. Yeah. Dominic Oliver got an Iowa State offer. So that's,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's pretty big.
That's a big offer.
Yeah. So going from UNR, UNLV to Iowa State. And I kept saying to myself, why is this kid not committing? You've got to commit because these spots are going to get taken up.
Yeah.
And then Iowa State comes in and I'm like, he's smarter than I am.
Yeah. Well, there might be, let me tell you something with recruiting. When Iowa State offers, he's going to see a few more come in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But when you get that big a school offer, other people are going to notice and say, wait a minute. We might need to take a second look at this kid.
Okay. So you've coached at, you got here in, what year did you get? In 98?
I started at El Dorado.
El Dorado.
Good teams.
Young kid then, right?
Young.
Okay.
Yeah.
El Dorado, Vegas.
Yep.
Silverado.
Yes, sir.
Foothill.
And the head coach at Coronado. Head coach at Desert Oasis. And now Liberty. Yeah.
And Liberty. Yeah. Okay. So you've coached a lot of
a lot of places.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me the greatest. You can't see here, but my fingers are crossed. Tell me the greatest high school football rivalry in Las Vegas.
Okay, the greatest. I know you're going to want me to say Chaparral.
I want you to say. We're here to talk facts.
The Chaparral guy wants to. It's changed over the years because we've added so many schools.
Correct.
We've added so many.
Correct.
And now Sean and Rich have agreed to this
Rose
Bowl thing.
Yeah.
And you got other schools that are competitive. Foothill versus Silverado. That used to be
Slam and Moapa played for a red little
ball.
Yeah,
right?
which I didn't realize about. Yeah.
I've seen it in the Slam coach's office.
Correct.
The big trophy with big ball on it.
Correct. The reason I like the cleat game, of course, because I'm an East Side kid.
Yeah.
But I remember when I was in middle school, and they'd bring that thing around trying to get you to join the football team.
Oh, yeah.
And I understand the history and tradition. And, Coach, the thing is that Shap's not going to win state and El Dorado's not going to win state.
Correct.
This is the Super Bowl, but it's also the 1 week when they realize that the people who came before them love them and are rooting for them.
And you're going to get some alumni come out to that
Correct.
game because they want to see who wins the cleat.
Correct.
It's a big game for both teams.
Correct.
It's a great rivalry.
Correct. And it's good to have that community.
It is.
Okay, because I love Shap.
Yeah.
I love those kids, and this is such
you want to see him do well.
Correct, and it's just like the Bone game.
That's kind of went downhill a little bit because I think of the domination of Las
Correct,
Vegas.
and Rancho
it'll come back.
And Rancho was real. Talk about good
Eventually
coaching.
It'll come back.
About good coaching jobs.
Yeah.
Jose over at Vegas.
Yeah, I went and visited Jose and Will and the kids over there about 3 weeks ago and visited with the kids a little bit. And you know what? They have confidence.
Yeah.
You know, I talked to them before their desert. They had a bye week, and I talked to them before their Desert Pines. They had Desert Pines the week after. And you saw in their face, because they had kind of upset Paolo. I would say that was
a shocker.
Shocker.
That was Bengals Patriots shocker.
And, you know, then they beat Rancho, you know, for the bowl game, and they had a tough loss. I want to say they had a tough loss in there. I think they did, but then you saw it in their faces. Maybe the tradition of Vegas might be coming back a little bit. From the job that Jose's done.
Sure, and I love that they hired it just like the guy before him, Eric.
Kid. He's a
Vegas kid. East Side kid.
Loves Vegas.
Loves Vegas. Latino. Looks like the kids that are coming up.
Yeah.
It's what you need.
And they work hard.
Absolutely.
Thing is, I watched their practice. It was very well organized.
Yep.
You know, the kids knew exactly where to be.
Yep.
They were on time. They were really snapping to drill to drill. So, but you see it. Now you see it. You see the fruits of their labor coming out on Friday nights. You know, that's what I've wanted to see always from Vegas. You know, you root for them. You root for them because, you know, I learned a lot from the Vegas coaches when I was there and a lot from that community. And you just want them to do well.
Yeah.
You know, so what Jose's done is good. You know, hopefully the kids can kind of keep their confidence. I know they got some tough games. They got some tough games coming up. So, and it's going to be a battle. But, it'd be nice. It's nice to see Vegas kids achieve success now.
Okay. Who was, since I've got you here, the best player you've coached here was Steven Jackson?
By far.
Okay.
Well, not by far. I've been lucky to have some pretty good kids. I had Ben Jacobs, too.
Okay. Who's now the special team.
He was a special. Now, I don't know what Ben's doing now. I haven't talked to him.
I think he's the assistant special teams coach of the Bengals.
He might be.
Yes.
Yeah, he was at Washington.
Correct.
He was an assistant special teams coach at Washington. You know, he was a great player for Carolina.
Correct.
A great special teams player.
Super Bowl. Played in the Super Bowl.
Steve was very good. Let's see. I had a free safety, Brian Frank, that he's now coaching in our city, or used to be. You know, over at Shadow Ridge. He was a great player.
What years were you at Foothill?
Oh boy, you're asking me to remember.
Okay.
Oh boy. 2018, 2015, 2015, 18,
Do you remember one of the coolest games I've covered? So back in the day...
Was that when Ray was still around?
When Ray Fenton was there. Okay. It was John Ford for Foothill.
That was Ray Fenton's days.
Against Cornell Johnson from Desert Pines.
Desert Pines,
And just talking because at the time...
Those were two elite athletes.
Yeah. So you saw the graphic that there's like 17 Las Vegas kids in the NFL.
I saw that. Yeah.
And it's the second...
I saw something like the fact that we had more kids in the NFL than like Dade County had.
Yeah.
Than Miami.
Yes.
I thought, man, that's an amazing stat.
Because when you got
good for high school
when you got here, we were sending a kid a year if we were lucky.
It wasn't a lot, but you know, see, Ray, what happens is this: a lot of times our kids, we have so many kids in class. Okay, when you talk about the academic part of it, you know, sometimes they get lost and they don't know. They don't know how to prepare themselves because they're lost with so many kids in the classroom.
Correct.
That when they were recruited, right? Because we did have kids. Chaparral had some good kids that could have been recruited.
Oh, absolutely.
But what had happened in those days, they just couldn't make it academically. So what you had was, I didn't make it academically, so I had to come back home.
Correct.
But now, you know, now they're starting to figure it out. Now times have changed.
Correct.
Rules have changed.
Correct.
You know, the number of athletes in our city, we've grown so much. We have a lot more athletes to choose from now.
Correct. The cool / odd thing for me is I'm now covering children whose parents I covered.
Yeah.
Right.
It tells us how old we are.
Yes. If that rings supreme.
I wish I could push rewind, but that is the truth.
Yeah. So it's very interesting.
I saw Steve Jackson's son the other day at Liberty High School, and I couldn't believe it. I said, "You go tell your dad that, you know, Steve didn't want to play defense for me."
Yeah.
He just hated playing defense.
Yes.
So I went to Jackson Kid and said, "Hey, go tell your dad that I could have used him in the game against Reno. I could have used him a little bit on defense."
Yeah, it's just it's bizarre how the world's worked out.
It is. It's changed so much here in the city.
So the highlight of the show is the weekly picks.
Yes. Let's get to it.
Okay, so as you know, Case and I used to always disagree.
Yes.
Sometimes he'd be right, sometimes I'd be right.
Yeah.
But it wasn't scripted. He actually disagrees with me on a lot.
Okay.
So
I love listening to Case.
Yes.
He did some great analysis.
He knows football.
I hope he can get a chance to get back in this seat.
Yes.
Because it's great listening to you two. Without you two, Ray, we wouldn't have a lot of high school
we appreciate
coverage.
that.
You know what? And I know I speak for, and I'm willing to say this, a lot of coaches, and they appreciate the work you do.
Thank you. Thank you.
And Case,
Yes.
for the years he's done it.
Absolutely. Okay, so first game, you're okay picking the Liberty game, even though you're
okay with
an employee. And I thought you'd come in here with the state ring, but you left it at the house. Okay.
No, the most important ring I wear is my wedding ring.
Okay. So first game, Gorman Liberty.
Yes. I'm going to pick the game. Gorman's still nationally way up there.
Correct.
Okay, and Liberty kids, they had a setback, but they're going to bounce back from it. They will. I have all the faith in them that it's going to be very competitive with those kids. They're going to get better. They'll learn what they do best. Now, they're going to learn in that Gorman game some things that they can do versus not only Gorman, but other teams as well. What do we do best? I'm going to pick Gorman.
Okay.
Just because they're right
great.
Now they're better.
But you're going to do closer than you think.
I'm going to say closer than what you think.
Okay, so the cool thing for me about Liberty losing to Coronado is last year they didn't show much in that game because they knew
36-0.
Yeah,
because
they knew they were going to get them again at Allegiant.
Yes.
So I think this year Liberty's playing all out. Let's get it fixed. Yeah. So I think Liberty, you're right, closer than you think.
I do. I really do.
But Gorman wins. Okay. Yeah. The next game, I think, is real crystal clear to me. But you tell me.
Okay. Are we going the game of the week here?
The game of the week.
Okay.
Arborview at Coronado. To me, crystal clear. What about to you?
Two great quarterbacks.
I agree.
Okay. Good receivers. They both can get the ball to. Both play good defense. It's going to be a heck of a game. I can't wait for this one. And the only reason I'm picking this is because of all the excitement. You always hear of the letdown.
Sure.
And I hope Sean doesn't let those kids do that. But naturally, Ray, it happens. It happens with all athletes. It happens at the pro level. It happens at the collegiate level. And it's going to happen at the high school level. There's going to be a little bit of letdown, okay? Now, Sean's going to coach them up and the coaching staff there. Let the game go. It's over with. Mm-hmm. No more talking about Liberty. Let's just focus on Arborview. I'm going to pick Arborview by a slim margin.
Okay, so I have Arborview winning as well.
Okay.
And also by a slim margin, but my logic's a little different.
Is it? Okay. Well, I want to hear
So they have a common opponent. Lincoln of San Diego.
Yes, they do.
Liberty went up and put 40-some points on Lincoln.
Arborview
went up and
up to Lincoln.
And put 40.
It was a good game.
Yeah, good game. But
a lot of throwing.
Good game. They pulled out the dub.
Story of two halves.
Correct. Story of two halves. Liberty came into Coronado. And remind you, it's almost impossible for a Vegas team to win in California.
Lincoln County did. Lincoln County came into Coronado.
Correct.
Yeah, okay. Lincoln County came into Coronado, and they scored real fast. They scored on special teams twice.
They were up 14 before you sat down. Yes. Yeah. And so I just think that Arbor is better than Coronado.
By that slim margin because of the common opponent.
Correct.
I agree.
My non-logic. Okay.
Mine's the letdown a little bit, the mental letdown. Yours is the common opponent.
Okay.
But we both got Arborview.
Next game. Now, Coach, we could either end the podcast here.
No way.
Okay.
We got to keep going.
Okay. There's only one team to pick here. Shap at El Dorado. And by the way, what they're doing at El Dorado, the Firehawks now.
The Firehawks.
Okay.
Yeah, I got to remember that.
Okay.
That's
Coach
different to me.
DT is a great man.
Yeah.
And he has put his heart and soul into making El Dorado a better place.
Yeah.
And I know, like, I'm friends with a few people over there, like Coach Oswald, the soccer coach.
Amazing job.
Great guy. He is making chicken salad over there.
Foot to the ground. He is burning the candle at both ends.
He's the guy.
So he is a dude. Yeah.
I'm picking Shap.
Why did I know that? They're playing for the cleat, right?
They're playing for the cleat.
I got to tell you, I started El Dorado. And I have a lot of good memories there, and I want to see those kids pull the cleat back home. So I'm gonna go El Dorado.
All right, I'll put Talich there. Okay, all right,
El Dorado.
All right.
The what? Firehawks now.
Firehawks, yes, Firehawks. Okay, Del Sol at Spring Valley. There's a lot here.
Del Sol's got 3 wins now. I want to say, is that right?
Maybe
Valley,
even
Western,
4.
And who's the other one?
Rancho.
They beat Rancho.
Yeah, so they're beating the teams in their
beat.
breath. Yes.
Yeah, that they should
Spring Valley, I think Frank's picked up the pieces rather nicely.
Right. It's unfortunate what happened there.
Complete BS, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't.
Marcus, a great guy.
Marcus is
one of the
great
men
for high school football.
Great.
If there's anybody that is the best for high school football, is Marcus.
Same school all these years.
And works.
His kids went through there. Running the barbecue in the courtyard.
Absolutely.
The man.
Yeah, does it all.
Okay.
I'm picking Spring Valley.
So am I. Okay. Faith Lutheran at Vista. Vista a little better than I thought.
A little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Faith, I think, has got it. I've told a few people over there.
Yeah.
I don't see them losing at all.
You know what? Faith could be the number 3 team in the city.
Correct.
They very well could.
Correct.
They're that good.
Mike's got them going.
In that division.
Yeah. So last year, splitting reps for Rogers with Barry's son kind of held Rogers back a little bit.
Yeah.
Because the kid could ball.
Oh, yes.
Okay. And now we're like, okay. Yeah. And remember, they got a tailback who's going to BYU.
Yeah.
Breslin. Yeah. I got Faith big.
Faith, I watched the Faith Shadow Ridge game, and I'm very impressed with what the adjustments that Faith made fast.
Correct.
Because when you play that team, if you don't make the adjustments fast, Shadow Ridge is going to take advantage of you. And Faith was able to make those adjustments.
Jay got it done. Yeah, absolutely.
Quick. Okay, so
absolutely.
I'm picking Faith.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next game, Rancho at Chi-Town.
Okay.
Now, you remember when...
Oh, remember
bro, you don't want to go near Cheyenne.
No, Cheyenne. I had the athletes that could run out their ears.
Yeah. I would love to be the head coach there in like 05. But just, it's just so sick.
Yeah.
Marcus DePriest is doing a decent job over there.
Mm-hmm.
They're talking about a complete teardown.
Yeah.
I've got them beating Rancho, who is struggling.
Yeah,
okay.
I do too.
Next game, speaking of flips arounds, Durango goes from losing 11 straight to now winning 4.
In the mix of things. Beating Centennial, which was a big win for that program.
Yeah, cuts.
Big win for that program.
Huge.
Yeah.
Cuts.
I went over to them, to their place to watch their practice too. Good friends with Robert. I coached with Robert in an all-star game.
Okay.
And I see here's what I see from Cutsy is his attention to detail.
Yes.
And in the booth with him, I saw his play development a little bit. I saw what he wanted to do. I worked with him for a couple weeks for all-star games. That's a good guy for that program.
So why I think it's important that he also has success is people your age, Coach, are on their last days of being a teacher and a coach.
Yeah.
Right? The Barnesons, the Moroccos, Andy O's not doing it anymore.
Well, we hope that Andy O gets back into it. And I hope Rich stays for a while. Rich would probably take over. He could take over some sort of small college program or
correct.
Rich could do really with his bio. He could go really wherever he wants.
Correct. And you see guys like Coach Baker, right?
Yes.
Great guy.
Staff.
Yeah.
Great staff.
And you guys are all 48 to 52.
Or me, 56.
Or 56.
I'm older.
Okay. Cuts is 31, 32.
Yeah. He's a kid who grew up in our city and played in our city. And now he's a head coach in our city.
Zach Monticelli over at Legacy.
Yes.
Young kid, grew up in the city.
Yes.
The kid,
another good job.
Kid at Vegas High.
Yep.
Right?
Jose.
So we need guys like this to have success.
Because we are on our way out.
Correct. We are.
The older guys are on their way out.
Correct. Yeah. But I have...
New blood's coming in.
I have Durango.
I do too.
Okay, next game. Listen, Barneson's the man.
Yep. And, that offense, with the program that he set up.
Yep.
That offense is great for that.
Correct.
He's going to win immediately.
And he's got those kids lifting weights.
Yeah.
And let me tell you,
weights, and you know what Dan does.
Dan gets that school,
physical team out there.
That school has been very supportive.
They should be.
Very supportive. They go all out on athletics.
They should be. Yeah.
So he's playing Western.
Yeah.
God bless him.
Yes.
But Coach Rittenauer played for Dan, coached for Dan.
Yeah, coach for Dan.
Does Dan go easy on his kid?
Yeah. You know what? Dan's going to do what Dan does.
Okay.
I mean, it was tough playing Dan. I remember a game that we went up to Harborview when Dan was still the head coach there. I think we went to 4 overtimes or something like that when we were at Coronado. But, I mean, they're physical. They're tough.
Yes.
They're in the trenches. They're the black and blue division of football.
Correct.
So I'm going to tell you I'm picking Dan all the way.
Okay, me too. Yeah. Here's a good game. Well, Green Valley at Palo.
Yeah.
Have you seen?
Has the makings because of the common opponent is Basic.
Correct.
Basic had Green Valley on the ropes.
Dead to rights.
18-0, and they let it kind of go a little bit.
Correct.
And really, the game between Palo and Basic, that could have went either way.
Correct.
Okay? I was at that game. Could have went either way.
Correct.
So, it's going to be tough.
Okay.
It's going to be a great football game. It's going to be very close.
You got this game closer than I did.
It's going to be whoever's got the ball last wins, in my opinion.
Okay. Green Valley on a bye week.
Green Valley's up, and Palo's coming off a tough loss.
And Green Valley's got 2 special kids. Got the Glasper kid going to Oregon State.
Going to Oregon State, yeah.
And this Evan Williams kid who's a junior.
What is he?
Wide receiver.
I'll have to watch. Yeah, I'm going to pay attention to.
If you go,
I'm going to pay attention. I haven't really watched.
Okay, if you go online, you'll see the kid had a catch over the Oliver kid from Legacy.
Okay.
In their game.
Yeah.
He, I think, has got. He's one of these kids where if I'm a coach of like a Utah State or a UNR or if I'm Tony over at New Mexico, I'm coming in. I'm looking at this kid right away.
Yeah,
because he's about to blow up in my humble opinion.
Now, see, I did hear the coach at Green Valley, and I want to go meet him. I have not met him yet.
Pal, great guy.
Okay, I have heard that discipline is kind of like number 1 in their program, and that's why they're winning games coming from behind. And I guess they walk 2 by 2 off the bus, and they're very structured in the things they do. An older guy, am I right?
Correct. Yeah.
California a little bit.
He retired in California.
Yeah.
His daughter moved to Vegas, and he wanted to be closer to his grandkids.
Oh, so that okay.
And so they
Green
moved.
Valley happened to be open. Yeah.
No.
Oh, it wasn't open.
They moved here, and he's retired. He's like, I still want to coach ball. He got on Clay staff last year.
Okay, Morrow staff.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then Morrow moved back to Washington.
Yep.
And he's like, yeah, I'll do it. No big deal.
Nice.
And
they apparently they've hired the right guy because they're just doing some good things.
Correct.
I haven't seen him play this year. This game for me, I'd be flip a coin for me because I haven't seen Green Valley.
Okay, well I've got Green Valley.
I just know the common opponent.
Correct. Okay, next game.
I'm gonna pick Palo.
Okay, you're picking Palo. All right, well, I got GV.
Just because of the staff they got. They got an excellent staff over there, too.
Yeah, I know. Mike is your guy.
Mike and Charlie Jarvis.
Yeah,
Charlie. And Ted. Ted Ortel has been around a long time.
Yes.
They got some guys over there who they know what they're doing. I think it's going to be whoever's got the ball last. And John Isola, another head coach.
Yeah. Next game.
Yes.
Basic at Desert Pines.
Ooh.
Now, let me tell you, I'm an East Sider.
Yeah.
I have said over the years I love Desert Pines.
Yeah.
I think the fact that Sierra Canyon uses Desert Pines like a AAA baseball team is complete crap.
Yeah. I agree.
They got a lot of freshmen they're trying to get.
They're trying to develop new kids.
And they got
lost a lot of kids.
Handful of seniors.
They're going through some difficulties. But
correct.
They're developing young kids.
Kid I love that offensive lineman over there, the Gabe Goff kid.
Yeah.
Great kid.
Yep. I know who you're talking about.
And I have them narrowly beating Basic.
Yeah. I got to go with the Basic Wolves. I think this is the game that Basic's going to face some tough. They got some tough opponents coming.
Correct.
Gorman.
They should not be.
They face Arborview. I think that they lost Arborview, but the toughness that I'm going off past experience
correct
right here. And yes, we played Desert Pines and they were very good. And yes, I've had multiple games with Basic, and I just know the toughness of their kid. And I think the toughness doesn't come out in this game. So I'm going to pick Basic.
Jeff and Dan, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, next game. We got 5 games left. Okay, we got to go. We got to go.
Ray.
Okay.
Come on, Ray. Let's go.
Cimarron at Bonanza. Coin flip game.
I'm going Cimarron.
I've got Bonanza.
Okay, there you go.
You're like Case. Okay.
So I got Cimarron.
Okay. Centennial and Canyon both off the snide last week.
Yep. DJ's done great things. I mean, state champ. He's state champion.
And he could convince me to run through the window.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep. I'm going to Centennial.
Okay, and I got Centennial too.
Yep.
Boulder City at Moapa Valley. Nobody wins in Provo on a Saturday night.
Moapa.
I agree with you. Moapa.
Yep.
They got
Wing T shines through.
Wing T. Okay. Citrus, California at Shadow.
I don't know anything about Citrus, but I am taking our local team. I'm not taking a California team over the option football team. No way. Travis Foster's done great things with that program and amazing things.
Okay.
And you know what? You've got to schedule your practice time. If you're in that division, you got to dedicate 1 week,
yes,
1 day a week to Shadow.
It's like playing Air Force. Yes.
Shadow Ridge all the way.
Okay. Citrus has only scored 23 points in 3
Shadow
games.
Ridge, yeah.
Shadow's quarterback may be out. Okay.
Maybe. I don't care. Still
okay.
Shadow Ridge.
Last game, Mojave, who's been better than I've expected.
They have been. They've had a good year so
Wes
far.
has got it done. He's got some Jimmies and Joes.
Yeah.
Love Jimmies and Joes.
Yep.
Against Sunrise Mountain, who I've picked them every week.
Yeah. They've gone through some hard times. You know, they started with some difficulty with eligibility.
Complete crap.
Crap.
Complete crap. Why can't we recognize that? Yes, I agree. I think that they got to do a better job with inner city kid.
And Chris Sawyer's
great
man.
Man.
Over backwards for those kids.
Great man. I totally agree with you.
You know what? No one better for Sunrise Mountain than Chris Sawyer's. No one better.
No one better than Brad Talich. We've been waiting for this moment to have you here.
Last pick. What, Sunrise Mountain and who? I got to pick.
Sunrise Mountain and Mojave.
I'm going to pick Sunrise Mountain.
Okay, and I'm picking
going to go Sunrise Mountain. I'm going to go with my, the boys there. They deserve a win. They haven't got to win this year. I'm going to go Sunrise Mountain.
And I'm going Mojave because I've picked Sunrise Mountain every week, and I've picked against Mojave every week.
Okay.
And it'll come back to bite me in the rear. Anyways, for the legend, Coach Talich, and I'm Ray Brewer. This is Prep Sports Now. One more time, shout out to the A's and Las Vegas Aviators. And we'll be back next week with another special guest who texted me and he said, I can't believe you're making me go after Talich.